So as more and more people discover this channel, they find out I'm a science writer. I've been getting quite a bit of conversation and questions in my inbox about becoming a science writer. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things you should start doing right now if as a PhD you plan to transition into scientific writing. Hey there, I'm Dr. Gertrude Nonterah, and on this channel I talk about slaying grad school and navigating the career market after the fact. And today, like I said, I'm talking about transitioning into scientific writing. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to consider if you're thinking about coming into science writing is really to familiarize yourself with different types of documents that are out there. People don't know this, but there are different types of science writing roles and different types of documents you could be writing in your role. So some of them are blog posts, you could be writing social media content, you could be writing email sequences, you could be writing technical papers, you could be writing white papers, you could be writing case studies, you could be writing regulatory documents. There's so many types of documents, types of content you could be creating as a scientific writer, and it's really important that you begin to familiarize yourself with these types of content because they all require slightly different skill sets, not just writing skills, but slightly different skill sets. They're written in different tones, they have different structures generally, so you really want to learn, okay, what all of these things are so that you can position yourself better. Another thing that is not going to go away, okay, is digital marketing. And as a scientific writer, a lot of the time you're going to have to familiarize yourself with some digital marketing skill sets. And so examples would be search engine optimization. This is a skill set that allows you to optimize a piece of content specifically for search engines like Google. All right. And so SEO, search engine optimization, is something that you want to take a look. Another skill set you may consider is copywriting. Okay, copywriting is writing that specifically moves people to take an action. All right, and as a scientific writer working in a marketing agency, what we primarily do is help businesses market, life and health sciences businesses market their businesses and get more money into their business. And to do that, you need to use the right language. You can't just throw up words on a page and expect people to buy. And that involves copywriting. And so that is a skill that you can acquire. The third thing is to write. Okay, so recently, there was somebody that reached out to me, and this was maybe 5-6 months ago. They reached out to me to talk to me about my career in scientific writing. Prior to being an agency writer, I had been a freelance health writer for about 3 or 4 years. I had been freelance, okay, and then I transitioned into a full-time role as a scientific writer. And this person wanted to know my career path, and so we chatted. And then about 6 months later, they wrote to me again, and I just asking them, hey, so what are you doing these days? And they told me, and they were looking for opportunities to freelance. Well, I told them, hey, send me your written samples and let me see how I could help. They did send me their written samples, and their written samples were great. I passed that on to somebody that I thought could help, and that began to open a door for that individual. So here is the thing. If you want to break into science writing, okay, you need to create samples of your work. When you are applying for jobs, even when you are going to look for freelance medical or freelance science writing roles, people are going to want to see what you've written before. Yes, okay, your publications may count, but you don't want to just rely on those types of documents, okay? Your publications that you've put out. Those are helpful. But like I said to you earlier, there are different types of documents you could be writing as a scientific writer. And it's important for you to familiarize yourself with those types of documents. And it's important for you to create some samples of your work. So I'm going to highly encourage you to write. This may be writing on your own blog. This may be writing about scientific topics on LinkedIn. I've seen people do this. This may be creating a Medium account and writing there. Whatever the case is, you do want to show people that you can write because you're going to be paid to write. And so you really need to show that. Publications are good, but you don't want to just depend on those. It's also going to be important for you to prepare your resume accordingly. I've done a video on this channel where I talk about the difference between an academic CV and an industry resume. They are two different documents. The lengths are different. What is entailed is different. What people are looking for in these documents are different. If you're not applying for an academic job, please do not use an academic resume, okay? Or an academic CV. Use the industry resume. And so you can check out that video, but as you begin to familiarize yourself with the different types of documents there are, as you familiarize yourself with different digital marketing skill sets, because that's really relevant in today's market, and as you begin to do all of that, you want to update your resume and tailor your resume to fit science and medical writing roles. Like I said earlier, science and medical writing roles definitely differ across the continuum of this industry. So you really want to make sure that you have the right resume for the right role and submit the right resume for the right role so that you can get the job. I cannot overemphasize this. Please tweak that resume so you can get this job. Networking is your best friend. I cannot say this enough, but networking really is your best friend. And I know for people that are introverted, this can be very, very difficult. But listen, I learned this a long time ago, and it's that closed mouths do not get fed. Okay, and therefore, if there are people you can reach out to, alumni from your school, people on LinkedIn, I've shared how people have reached out to me and talked to me. You are going to need to talk to people. All right, don't be an island. Let me tell you this, one of the biggest breakthroughs that came in my career was when I really began to build relationships. And building relationships for me, even though I chat and I'm quite energetic, is not that easy for me, actually. Okay, I'm telling you this. But as I began to, post helpful content out there, as I began to genuinely engage with people online, those relationships began to organically grow. And then it's led to opportunities. And so it's important that you network. One of the biggest ways I'm going to recommend, and it's super easy for you to do, is LinkedIn. Okay, get on LinkedIn. When you go on LinkedIn, it's super easy for you to use the search bar on LinkedIn to find people in specific science writer or medical writer roles that you want to get into. Maybe there's even a specific company you'd like to get into. Okay, if you go on LinkedIn, you can find these people and then begin to strike up conversations. Now, I don't recommend that the very first day you see somebody in a LinkedIn search, you send them your whole life story. Don't do that. What you can do, however, is connect with them. If they're active on LinkedIn, if they post on LinkedIn, comment on their posts, interact with them, and then don't make it creepy and let it be too long. But you could send them a really short message thanking them for the content that they share, and then ask them if you could ask them a few questions. You can ask them via messaging, via email, or you could even schedule a 10-15 minute call with them. Now, here's a really great thing about this is that if you build a really good relationship with the person you connect with, when opportunities come and they know that you're serious about becoming a science writer, you're building the skills and you're doing what you can to enter the industry, all right, they will begin to throw opportunities your way. They will see a role, they'll send it to you. They may have a freelance opportunity that they can't take on themselves, they may send that to you. They may be a role opening up in their company, and today a lot of science writers can do this work remotely. And so if you wanted a remote role, you could really be working from anywhere and getting paid a really good salary as a scientific writer. So these are the tips that I wanted to share with you today. 5 things to do to break into science writing. If you did find this helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below if you want me to create more videos on science writing. Let me know in the comments.